My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
This is The Other Side of Midnight with Frank Morano.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Now, here's Frank Morano.
Ladies and gentlemen, returning by popular demand, a man who is very clever, very smart, but doesn't take himself too seriously, all of which are qualities that I enjoy. But the number one quality that makes this man stand out, in my opinion, is that he's willing to come in studio in the middle of the night or the middle of the morning at a time when few others are. By now, you've probably guessed. I am talking about stand-up comedian Fred Rubino. Fred, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. I'll do anything to get out of the house.
There you go. There you go.
Go to motor vehicles. You need anything? I'll go tomorrow.
Are you having some trouble at home?
No, just, normal marital things.
Okay, yeah, believe me. They never tell you about that stuff. You know what it is? It's, you hear all these things about people joking about marital stuff, and they have these depictions in stand-up routines and on sitcoms, and people do kind of warn you about it, but they always say it like it's a joke. And then you're married and you find out, oh, actually, that was all true.
Well, you have to say it as a joke. When I get home, my wife's going to say, what did you mean by that?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll say, no, I was joking, because you even have to complain as a joke.
This is true. This is true. What is your opinion, politics aside, what is your opinion of Chuck Schumer's ability as a communicator, a spokesperson, as somebody that's able to be a messenger for, I don't know, whatever message he's conveying?
I think Chuck Schumer, first of all, he skeeves me out. He's little Nosferatu-like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a very good description.
He's creepy. He's a real creepy guy. And to be honest, I never understand a Jewish person who is liberal and a Democrat in these times.
But that's the thing with Chuck. I don't really think he believes in much. I think Chuck, he's
a shill.
I think he will happily change his position on any issue for political expediency, irrespective of what the issue is. I mean, if you look at clips of him, 15, 20 years ago, he was talking about calling for the construction of a border wall in a way that would make Donald Trump blush. Then, whatever. But politics aside,
he's soulless. He has no soul. He will say anything and do anything.
Now, so will I, but
of course.
But here's the difference: is I'd like to think I sound good being soulless. Here's the difference, right?
You're not as creepy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's one of the nicest things anybody has ever said to me. Here is a little bit of Chuck Schumer. What day is it? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. A little bit of Chuck Schumer on Tuesday at this rally. I tweeted this yesterday, but if people didn't see it, here's Chuck Schumer at this rally. I don't even know what this was a protest against. I think it had something to do with Elon Musk. I'm just going to play what Chuck Schumer said. He's got a big crowd of people there.
He draws a crowd.
He is the number one Democrat, maybe on par with Hakeem Jeffries, but I would put him ahead of Jeffries just because of the seniority. Here's the number one Democrat in Washington at this rally 2 days ago. Here's was Senator Schumer. Listen to this.
I'm going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win. 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 We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. Thank you, everybody.
Now, putting aside the fact that he's chanting, "We will win," 3 months after the Democrats lost every branch of the legislative, executive branch, and the judicial branch, including the one that he was the head of. If you watch the video, when they're chanting,
With you in this fight, and we will win. We will win.
when they're shouting, "We will win, we will win," he stops like he's got the most brilliant idea in the world and says, "Hey, I know what's really going to get him.
I got to connect with people."
Yeah. And then he says, that's when he goes to, "We won't rest." Like, you got to watch the video. I tweeted it. People can watch out my video at Frank Morano. He stops. He says, I got it. And then he goes from "we will win" to "we won't rest."
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
It is the
We won't
strangest
rest.
thing in the world.
Thank you,
By
everybody.
the way, it looks like he hasn't gotten a good night's sleep in like 15 years.
And I don't mean to pick on Chuck Schumer. If Chuck was a Republican, I would be saying the exact same thing. It just looks ridiculous. And Tim Ryan, who was a Democratic congressman who ran for U.S. Senate in Ohio, he tweeted this clip of Schumer, the same one we just played. And again, Tim Ryan, prominent Democrat, says, "I just don't even know what to say anymore when I see this kind of stuff. Is it Saturday Night Live or real life? Does anyone really think this is the future of the country? This is the only alternative to Trump's America? It's just so depressing." Now, that's what a Democrat in Ohio is saying. What do you think the rest of the country is saying?
Now, last time I was here, I badmouthed Ohio, and I got in a lot of trouble.
I heard about that. We got a lot of angry letters from Sandusky.
So I'm going to say Ohio is absolutely right. And Chuck Schumer is so. Remember the thing where he was barbecuing and he had a raw hamburger with cheese on it?
Very strange.
He's a strange person. His wife looks strange. He's strange. He shouldn't. I can't see having that person represent me and saying, "I'm proud of this guy."
Neither can I. I mean, unfortunately,
He's a shonda.
He has represented me for a long time, but fortunately for us,
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
What was this rally
We
for?
won't rest. We won't.
I think it was something opposing Elon Musk and Doge. I think. I'm not even honestly. I was so transfixed by Schumer and the fact that he thought that this was a good way to communicate to the public that I lost track of whatever they were talking about.
He won't rest.
Yeah, I'll take. I mean, look, Carmine at least sounds like a happy warrior there.
At least he's cute.
Exactly.
And not creepy.
I at least for now. Jon Stewart was, who again, a pretty influential commentator and comedian. This was his take on Chuck Schumer as a spokesman.
Democrats, can you please stop trotting Schumer out there? Every time Trump traverses into the unreal, he's not good at this. What is the decision-making process here? Hey, who should we get out there to effectively battle one of the most savvy presidential media manipulators in history? Oh, I don't know. How about Schumer? He's uninteresting, but at least he's monotone. Oh, wait, and Chuck, before you go out there, you look too young. Put on these readers and lower them on your nose. Perfect. Honestly, listening to Chuck Schumer speak on almost any topic makes me want to bomb Canada.
I thought Jon Stewart was right on the money there.
He usually is. He's very talented.
Yeah, I don't watch much of anything, but I don't get to watch him that often. But somebody sent me that clip, and I thought that really spoke for where I'm coming from.
And as a young person, how do you look at Schumer? If you're a Democrat young person, you look at Schumer.
Right. That's the That's the future.
It's
of
like
the
garlic
country. Yes.
to a vampire. It should just keep you away.
By the way, I heard there is a new Nosferatu movie. Did you see it?
I did not.
Because you clearly got Nosferatu and vampires on the brain.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if that's
Anytime
why.
I see Schumer, he's hunched over. He's got his hands doing that thing. So, but it's been done a lot. The vampire thing.
That it has. That
You
it
know?
has. Are you a fan of horror movies?
I am, but I didn't like what they did. The vampires became like gay, like in the 90s.
Oh,
You know, like Twilight and stuff, and they glitter and they glow. No, give me a real vampire.
I never saw Twilight, but I know it's
It's
geared
gay.
more towards.
It's very gay, which is nothing wrong with that. But gay vampires, I don't.
The big difference between Chuck Schumer and a vampire, and I promise not to prolong this discussion, is vampires live a long time because they're immortal. Chuck Schumer has been in elective office for more than 50 years, right? I mean,
Yes.
he was elected when he was 24.
Oh.
And now here he is in his 70s, and he's still doing exactly the same thing.
He's a professional bloodsucker.
He's got that blood-sucking reputation. I mean,
I'm a Bela Lugosi man myself.
yes, I never drink wine.
He was what, a Russian with a heroin addiction? That's a real
I think he was
vampire.
from Hungary.
Hungary?
And
Okay.
I'm not sure it was heroin. I think it was methadone, in fairness.
Okay,
But I don't-
wow, he was well above his time there.
Exactly,
Look at him.
Exactly. You got to see the movie Ed Wood. Have you seen Ed Wood?
No.
You've got to see this. Martin Landau plays Bela Lugosi. He is phenomenal.
Wow.
Great. I'm telling you. Johnny Depp is in it. Bill Murray. It's one of the best movies ever. George the Animal Steel is in it.
I'm sold.
It's
Sold.
great. It's great. All right. A lot to get to with you this hour. How are you, Fred, by the way?
I'm doing well, thank you. I am getting ready to go to a show in Long Island. We're going to do a show called the Not That Newlywed Show.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be people who are married like 30, 40 years, and we're going to ask them funny questions. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait.
And how do people see that if they want to see it?
They could go to America First Warehouse in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. It's February 15th. It's going to be a great night out.
Well, that's absolutely great. And much like Chuck Schumer and vampires, I am sure the people going will be saying,
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Oh, God.
I could go for some rest. All right. By the way, if people want to see when Fred is performing in their area, they can go to fredrubino.com. That's Fred Rubino, RUBINO.com. Fred, obviously, you're keenly aware of what's going on with President Trump and DEI at the moment. They're trying to disband DEI throughout the federal government. And actually, as part of that, the Army is ordering West Point to disband several cadet clubs. For instance, the Society of Black Engineers and several other groups are being dismantled because of the Trump administration's war on DEI. What do you make of this? Was this really a problem at West Point?
You know something? You're joining the Army. It's the biggest man club in the world. You need a club inside that club? I don't get it. I'm part of the Army. It's the biggest man club organization. Hey, let's form another one so that we could have a smaller club. I don't get it. It's never enough. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of growing up in Bensonhurst. You got a bunch of kids. Who's the Italian kids? Okay, now you fall in with them. What part of Italy? Oh, Sicily. Now you're in a smaller section of that. What part of Sicily? Oh, my God. It's never enough. I wonder if other people go through that, like people in India. You know?
I think in India it's actually probably worse because of the caste system.
Well, maybe, like you see an Indian guy on the street and they're together and they go, are you Indian? Yes. Oh, you're with us. Are you part of the poor part of India or the other poor part of India?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, you got I think the Brahmin is the top.
I love
Indian.
their noodles, the Brahmin noodles.
And I think I don't know about all the Indian castes, but I think the lower caste is the Nadiga. So, yeah, it's very clubby.
Wow. You see, I don't go for that. If you join the military, that's it. You're in the army. You're all in the... To break it up into black, white, and all kinds of things, next thing you know, you're shouting, "We won't rest. We won't rest.
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't."
My goodness. Chuck, say what you want about him, is a smart guy. I think he got a 1600 on his SAT.
Really?
He may have even got a perfect score in his LSATs. And yet, he's totally tone deaf to what's going to go over well with the public. It's really,
I think
really
he's
something.
lived such a corrupt life his whole life that he just doesn't care anymore.
I do not understand that man. There is one guy. That man is a psychiatrist's dream, honestly. All right. We're going to continue with Fred Rubino, who may not be a psychiatrist's dream, but he is an insomniac's nightmare because he is going to keep you awake at least for the next 40 minutes. If you want to comment on anything we're talking about, feel free to give us a call, 646-720-0635. That's 646-720-0635. My guest in studio is Fred Rubino. We'll continue straight ahead.
The Other Side of Midnight with Frank Morano. It's The Other Side of Midnight with Frank Morano.
Out the corner of my eye, I saw a pretty little thing approaching me. She said, "I never seen a man who looks so all alone. Or could you use a little company? If you pay the right price, your evening will be nice, and you can go and send me on my way." I said, "You're such a sweet young thing, why you do this to yourself?" She looked at me, and this is what she said: "Oh, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free. I know I can't slow down."
Yes. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked by Cage Elephant. Matt Blaze, this is your tribute to Senator Schumer, I imagine, right?
Absolutely.
Very
Cage
nice.
the elephant.
Very nice. Fred Rubino is in studio. If you want to follow what he's doing, you can go to his website, fredrubino.com. It's Fred, RUBINO.com. Fred, what are you doing for the Super Bowl?
I am going to either go to a sports bar with a couple of the boys or stay home.
Okay.
Depending
Both
on
good options.
Depending on what the plan is. Because I'm not a big fan of turning the Super Bowl into something that girls and guys enjoy together.
Really?
This is our day.
So you don't like that?
This is the boys' day.
You know, I don't mind having women who are there.
No, strippers. Of course. Of course we want strippers. But that's when the wives get in the way.
No, but we had a Super Bowl party maybe 2 years ago. One, it's tough because, I work Sunday nights, so it means essentially no rest. You're standing. Right. But
no rest.
That's what everybody chants in my house when they're over.
We won't rest.
We won't rest.
We won't rest. We won't rest.
That's what Carmine.
That's Carmine's mantra.
It's true. But what I don't like, and my wife likes to watch the game. She's a casual football fan, and I'm a casual fan. I don't know all the players or anything like that. I don't have scouting reports that I'm consulting with for my fantasy team. But I don't like when you have non-football fans that don't care about the game, and then they want to engage the people that want to watch the game in conversation.
Brutal.
That's tough.
How about the idiot who says, it's football is really soccer?
No,
get away from the TV.
Soccer's really football.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Throw him out of the house. I think this is they've tried to make this women friendly. It's our only day. We drink a lot of alcohol. We eat the worst foods for our health. Trash talk, locker room talk. That's what we look forward to. A fight sometimes.
Look, I think, there's a lot of opportunity if you want to go to a Super Bowl party or something. Like my church is having a Super Bowl party, and you know, the one of the women in the church, she's not into football, so she's going to, everybody pays to go. It's kind of like a fundraiser. So she said she's going to sit in the back of the room and do a 500-piece puzzle. I have no issue with that because she's not bothering anybody. She's not
Keep
talking
your
to
mouth
anybody.
shut and
Exactly.
get on the puzzle.
But now some of the drama surrounding this year's Super Bowl, because the Chiefs are in it again,
Right.
involves Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, the biggest star on the planet. And some people are speculating that maybe, just maybe, Travis Kelce could pop the question to Taylor Swift and they could end up engaged. Do you see that happening?
This is, again, their attempt to draw women to watch the Super Bowl. I don't like it. That's the one day I don't want this. There's no reason to do that. Even the halftime show. The halftime show should be just geared towards men. I don't want, like, when my wife knows what the halftime show is, they have failed us. It should be like a wrestling steel cage match.
Right. See,
halftime.
They did that one year. You remember, Matt Blaze? They did halftime heat with The Rock and Mick Foley. That was fun.
That's what we want to see.
That was fun.
Tyson beating up another old man. That's what we want to see. I don't want to see a guy getting engaged on Super. First of all, you get engaged on Super Bowl Sunday, you lost your man card.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I can't see that happening. I mean, who knows? I mean, it seems like
you lost your man card. That's like taking pictures of your friends in the strip club. Not that I've ever been to a strip
Naturally. It's going to be very interesting to see where things go from here. At 30 minutes after the hour, this is The Other Side of Midnight. My guest is Fred Rubino. Hey, we were talking about the military a minute ago in the context of West Point and DEI. Apparently, the U.S. Navy unveiled a photo of a warship firing a high-powered laser weapon in this annual report last month. So this image, which was published in the Office of the Director Operational Test and Evaluations 2024 report, shows the high-energy laser on the USS Preble being tested on a drone target, and it's unclear where the ship was stationed at the time. No other details about the results of the department's test and evaluation. What's the big deal here, Fred?
I can tell you right now, from all the information I have of all the branches of the military, the Navy is the last thing I would join. It seems like every time there's an experimental thing, they bring the Navy out. Remember the World War II when they were exploding the bombs?
Right.
They have sailors on deck. Hey, take a look at that. And then they would go home and they would glow in the dark for like 15 years. The Philadelphia experiment, Navy. Drag out the Navy.
You know, you're right. I'd never thought about this.
Now the laser. What could happen? I don't know. Will it sterilize everyone? Will it get out of control? You know what? Let the Navy test it. And I can tell you another thing about the Navy. I don't even get the Navy. I don't understand the Navy. It's a boat, right? Let's say it's a battleship.
Sure, right.
Now, I see a lot of things about it, and there's about 10 people on the bridge who operate the boat. Why is there a crew of 2,000 sailors on the boat? What do they do?
I mean, I can't tell you about the operations of a ship.
No,
Fred. I don't
10
know.
people. They do the GPS. They do the guns. They do about 10, 15 people. And then they add 2,000 sailors who are making their beds and eating and cleaning. Just get a service. I don't understand how the most advanced ships ever to sail the seas need 2,000 people on it.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the naval uniform that sailors wear.
That's a little a little gay. Bell bottoms and, come on. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. And they're never at war. They just put 2,000 people on a ship. They go around. They make sure everything's clean. They run drills. And they never. When was the last time you heard that the Navy had a battle?
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge. This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
This episode is brought to you by Buick. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the Buick Certified Service Fresh Start Tire Event. Visit Buick.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only. Highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
Anyone can follow. It takes something special to be an original. Which is why the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV arrives with new ways of surrounding you in luxury, including the ultra-wide 48-inch panoramic display and the multi-sensory Lincoln Rejuvenate experience. A true original never stops evolving. So meet the 2025 Navigator, the original that's all new and better than ever. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Lincoln and Navigator are trademarks of Ford or its affiliates.
Well, you always hear about whenever there's tumult in the Middle East or somewhere, even in Asia or Eastern Europe, that they're sending a naval destroyer to kind of, be a stabilizing force in the region, or at least tell the bad guys where to go.
Okay, so your naval destroyer. Drop the 2,000 people off at the dock in case they shoot at the boat. And did you ever see those exercises? It's usually like a boat with like 5 Somalians on it, and they shoot 1,000,000 bullets at them in 2 seconds. Did you need 2,000 people?
That's a fair point. So you're not joining the Navy. What branch of the military would you join?
The Salvation Army looked good to me.
There you go.
Bowery and 4th Street.
You look like a guy that could use a little salvation.
I could use some soup.
But so you're not impressed with the Navy? That's
I don't understand the Navy. Why do you need 2,000 people on a boat that do absolutely nothing?
We ask the questions, you people answer them. 646-720-0635. If you've served in the Navy and you'd like to offer a retort to Fred, please feel free.
What do the 2,000 people do?
646-720-0635. All right. Hey,
They don't rest.
You have a big following on Facebook, right? You do these Facebook videos and you're drinking coffee. I never watch any of these videos, but I see they're constantly posted in the Morano Radio Fans Facebook group. And I see you drinking coffee. I see a couple of images. Are you on TikTok as well?
I am, but not as much as I was.
Really?
Yes, I was. And, you do a couple of videos and it's just hit or miss. You could get 50, 60,000 views. You get 30 views. There's no rhyme or reason. Plus, I'm not reaching the people that are going to come to my shows.
I see. Makes sense. Well, now the short video app TikTok's owner, ByteDance, seems to be slow rolling negotiations for a sale while waiting for approval from the Chinese government. This even as President Trump's allies race to broker a deal to sell it to an American bidder. Apparently, they're saying that China may take a very hardline approach here. What do you see happening, Fred?
They're slow walking it. They're saying, right?
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, if you accuse them of slow walking it, then they are, because I could tell you right now, all the Chinese people I ever met, they do everything very efficiently and very quickly, right? You go to Best Buy, look for the Chinese guy. He's not going to show you everything, and so he's going to get things done. He's very smart. Chinese, if you go to a restaurant, Italian restaurant, French restaurant, you tell somebody, how was the service? You would never ask that in a Chinese restaurant.
Well, that's for sure.
Because it's
for sure. And, I don't think this is racist because we're being complimentary to the Chinese people, but the Chinese folks that rummage through everybody's garbage and recyclables on trash day, they are quick. They are quick. I mean, you put a bag of recyclables out there, they will manage to take out all the bottles and the cans that have a deposit on them and retie it and get it back there within 2 minutes at most.
Very efficient. I mean, you go to a Chinese restaurant, you order, the soup is on the table before the guy goes to the kitchen to order it. It's like it came out of his sleeve.
How do they do that? That is amazing.
It's like magic. I think it's a little magical, some of these Chinese restaurants, but they're so efficient and so fast. So if TikTok is taking its time, it's on purpose.
Yeah, I fear that you may be right about this one, Fred.
I've never seen a slow Chinese person.
All right, I've been wanting to ask you about this. President Trump has this big summit with Netanyahu 2 days ago, and in it he says that the U.S. should take over Gaza, level it, and build resorts. So President Trump first wanted to buy Greenland. Then he wanted to make Canada the 51st state. Now we're going to turn the Gaza Strip into Mar-a-Lago.
He won't rest. Schumer's right.
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Your reaction, Fred, to the proposal to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East?
I tell you what. First of all, Gaza isn't there anymore. It's leveled already. He's just going to rebuild. Gaza is like the Radio Shack of the Middle East. It's not there anymore. So he just wants to get rid of the rubble and rebuild it. Very nice. And I tell you what, if I'm Haiti and I'm here in Trump's rebuilding place, I would put my request in. Like some drinking water. Maybe put some more dogs on the island because they're eating the dogs.
What about all the people that live either in Gaza or under the Rubino proposal, Haiti?
I would, first of all, there's going to be a lot of jobs.
Well, as he said, as the president said.
Put them to work.
There you go. Simple as that.
I would put them to work. I would make sure that it's a safe place for the Palestinians because they were brutalized by Hamas. I don't know how you keep Hamas out. I don't know, but there's nothing wrong with building a beautiful city. I don't remember the last time a city was built from scratch. So I would be interested to see how it works out. And
yeah, probably in biblical times, right?
Maybe, yeah. Right? Like Sodom.
Right. Or what was it, Nineveh?
Nineveh was where Jonah went.
Right, that's right, yeah.
Is Nineveh gone?
I think it is. Yeah,
who did they piss
something
off?
else.
Who did Nineveh piss off?
Probably
God.
Probably Trump.
Yes.
That's it. So, all right, we're putting you as an enthusiastic yes
100%.
on the Trump Gaza redevelopment.
Now,
plan.
good luck with Israel giving you that land because I've sold my house a few times. And when you get a Jewish real estate,
oh boy,
oh yeah, so he's going to have a couple of real estate problems.
All right, well, look, a lot to get to. If we haven't offended your ethnic group just yet, just wait. We will get there. We will get there by the end of the hour. 646-720-0635. That's 646-720-0635. We have Fred Rubino with a choice of either going to a bar or watching the Super Bowl at home. If you watch it at home, are you going to have your fellas over, or are you going to just watch the game by yourself?
If I have, I already had somebody say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I told him, and he says, "Oh, maybe I'll come over." And I said, "No wives." I said, "Why don't you go with my wife somewhere, anywhere? I don't care where you go. Go somewhere. Go to a cigar bar. Go to a biker bar. I don't care.
You think your wife would enjoy that? Go to a biker bar or a cigar bar?
We don't talk much. I don't really know her that good. But I'm saying I don't want your wife over. I want it to be a real guys out. It's our last guys out. That's why we hunt and fish. Just to get away from them.
Right. As a way to watch the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, and not resting. I will not rest.
Speaking of not resting, let us say hello to E. Frank in Astoria. E. Frank, what's on your mind?
Yes, let me tell you something. Your guest is probably right about Donald Trump in many ways, about buying the Gaza Strip and Greenland and everything else. Well, everyone got what they paid for with 312 delegates. Donald Trump does not consider the law something very important in his life or in the way he administrates certain of the issues involving, our country at this time. I voted for Kamala Harris, and I can care less what Donald Trump does, but I think that's what everyone paid for. If Donald Trump will not stop, he will go over Congress, he will go over certain what he did with 6 federal prosecutors. He's buying them out. So, he is also a vice president that's just as bad. If you look at J.D. Vance's background, you know how many properties Mr. Vance has? I mean, he has a remodeling belief that no one can actually imagine or understand.
Yeah, all righty, Frank. Very cogent and coherent as always. I appreciate that.
And he'll have condos soon
yes, exactly.
in Gaza.
By the way, one Twitter user, and you can find me on Twitter, @Frank Morano, says in Brazil, they built a new capital city from scratch, Brasilia, that was completed around 1960.
What is that? 70 years ago?
Yeah, well, even a little more than
64 years ago.
85 years ago, yeah. But another fella on Twitter reaches out and says, if we don't have a Navy and our enemies do, then we will have problems. Does that alter your view at all?
I say have a Navy, but you don't need 2,000 sailors just sleeping in the ship, keeping it clean, when you could just operate all the guns and all the surface-to-air missiles with the 15 guys on the bridge.
It does seem...
It's overkill.
It does seem like a bit much.
You don't see the Coast Guard doing that. Coast Guard has a little frigate. They have a little tugboat. That's 3 guys. They have lunch. That's the Coast Guard's the way to go. And by the way, the thing that the guy said about Trump and he's building them a new city. Imagine your house burns down. A guy comes over and goes, I'm going to build you a brand new house.
Hope the house doesn't burn down.
Doesn't he know? Doesn't he know that there's insurance?
No, but I think the reason people take issue with the Gaza proposal is because there's still 1.8 million people there that they're talking about getting out of there.
They got to get out.
They got to get out.
You got to get out. That's it. You overstayed your welcome. It's rubble. Could you imagine Gazan people, Palestinians going, it's only rubble, but we want to stay. Oh, who is that guy? Interview that guy.
That's fair. I would like to. All right, if you're out there, 646-720-0635. That's 646-720-0635. This is a very good question from Ellen, who's a fan of yours. Do you ever, like at a sporting event, do you ever paint your face like David Puddy did in that Seinfeld episode?
No, that's going a little too far.
Where he's one of the devils.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even understand people who get violent at games and get so involved.
No, that's crazy.
You're watching a guy who makes $20 million a year, whether he wins or loses. You spent $200 on a ticket, $50 to park.
Easy.
And why are you so involved in this guy winning or losing? So that's going too far. The person who is really invested in the sport is a little bit unhinged. The only time I want to be with him is at the Super Bowl drinking without wives.
Joe is in Ronkonkoma. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Frank. Great show. This guy is hilarious. I agree with Trump. I think we should buy the Gaza Strip. And also, I knew that E. Frank voted for Kamala Harris. When I heard that, I started laughing in my car and almost lost control of my car. It makes so much sense.
Put them in Greenland.
Yeah, I would
buy Greenland. Put the Palestinians in Greenland. Rebuild it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if E. Frank didn't even vote. I just,
Probably not.
E. Frank's got some issues.
You're right, Frank.
Yeah.
Hey, have a great night, guys. Great show.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. 646-720-0635. That's 646-720-0635. This is The Other Side of Midnight. Straight ahead.
The Other Side of Midnight. It's The Other Side of Midnight with Frank Morano.
No sleep till
Shoot, 48 minutes after the hour. This is The Other Side of Midnight. I'm Frank Morano. Well, let's check out the early reviews for Fred Rubino. George Danton on Facebook comments, except for Dominic, presumably Dominic Carter, the guests are just plain boring.
Just plain boring.
Yes.
Not exceptionally.
Just
I'll
plain.
take it as a compliment.
Exactly.
Thank
exactly.
you.
Now, you contrast that with Michelle, who writes on the subject of Fred Rubino. I love Fred. Please let him take over for Curtis or you, Frank.
I don't know if anybody could take over for Curtis or you, but that's a wonderful thing to say.
John Bianchino pointing out that Tom Cruise's character in Top Gun, Maverick, was a naval pilot. I mean, he was pretty tough.
He was tough, but you know what? The plane only takes one or two guys to fly. There's not 18 guys in the plane sleeping
That is true.
Making their beds.
All right, 646-720-0635. Rob in White Plains is going to straighten you out, Fred. Hello, Rob.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hey, listen, Mr. Rubino, I joined the Navy in 2020. They sent me on the Ronald Reagan to Tokyo. Within 4 years, I slept in a hammock. I came home 2 months ago with curvature of the spine. Okay? And you know what else happened? I had gonorrhea.
Well, we knew that. You said you were in the Navy. That goes.
Oh, please.
I had a serious drug habit. Okay?
Well, good for you. Everybody needs a hobby.
You and me would get along.
Now, let me ask you something. What did you do besides get gonorrhea? What did you do on the ship with the other 2,000 guys that made you indispensable on this ship?
Oh, no woman will talk to me anymore. They think I'm homosexual.
Well, I thought you were that as well.
Rob,
but there's nothing wrong
Thank
with
you.
that, Rob.
Yeah, I I don't know when I came into work this morning and I said, these are all the possible ways that I could see the show ending up. I did not see it being 40 minutes worth of Navy bashing. It just goes to show you got to expect the unpredictable.
Yeah, and gonorrhea.
You
got to expect gonorrhea.
Exactly. What about Nixon? Nixon was in the Navy. Does that do anything to sway your opinion?
Nixon had gonorrhea too, I believe.
Oh, but John F. Kennedy in the Navy?
He was?
Yeah, Lyndon Johnson.
All these big-time guys, I don't think they slept. I don't think they had curvature of the spine and they called them homosexuals.
I'd like to see Rob's service record. I'd like to see his paperwork. I think that's about as accurate as President Obama's birth certificate.
Who thought he was a
joking,
homosexual? His parents?
He made it up. He was busting chops, I think. Gerald Ford in the Navy.
He was a homosexual.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter. I'm not a big Carter fan either.
George H.W. Bush in the Navy.
So
Look at all
it
these
seems like the
presidents.
Navy was an easy ride. You don't hear like they were Marines, or battle-tested Navy SEALs. They were all in the Navy. That should tell you something.
Fair. All right.
They slept in the bottom of a ship.
John is in Baltimore. Hello there, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, make a living.
Freddie?
John, how are you, John?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Good. What do you think about the Navy, John?
Well, I think this guy had a different discharge from the Navy with the gonorrhea. So.
Oh, he had discharge, all right.
Oh, please.
A little penicillin will cure that.
You guys are out of control. Out of control.
Yeah, I think you should throw your hat in the ring there to take Frank's place if he gets the city council job.
Well, no, let's not try and get me out of here anytime soon, John. Thank you. Very kind. Mike in New Rochelle. Hello, Mike.
Good morning, Frank.
Morning.
It's a good lineup tonight. You got Lichtman and Rubio. I'm enjoying the show tonight immensely, and I wanted to ask, did you ever notice when Chuck Schumer does an interview, his necktie is always tugged to the left?
I have noticed that.
That's a sign.
I don't know what the story is with that.
That's a demonic sign.
And the further left it's pulled, the further left he goes, and his head's always bobbing. Do you think when Chuck Schumer was a little baby, he was breastfed by a vulture?
Well, that seems excessive, Mike. That seems excessive.
I think he's onto something.
Neil is in Baltimore. Hello, Neil.
Good morning, Frank, and good morning, Fred.
Good
morning, Neil.
Frank, thank you so much for having Fred come on, because I could see a situation where we might protest and say, we won't rest until Fred comes back.
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
I have a question for Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Other than in the bedroom, Fred, has there ever been a time where you had to perform where you weren't prepared?
Where I wasn't prepared? I'm always prepared to perform at any time. So
I could see a situation where you could be thrust onto stage and just kill, because your humor, the way that you deliver it, just cracks me up. I just love it.
I don't thrust anymore, though. I'm past the point of thrusting. But thank you for that. That's a great thing to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate that. Fred, what is the rest of your day like? Because obviously I'm on a fully nocturnal schedule. I would imagine you primarily are on a standard schedule, but you have to kind of make the exception when you come in here in the middle of the night. So what does that do to the rest of your day?
I'm actually a night person.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so, when I perform, like a lot of times I get home at 1 or 2 in the morning from performing, and especially if it's far, like if I have to drive 2 or 3 hours and I drive home. So when I get home, I'm up, I watch TV, it's like 4 in the morning, and my day, and then I'll crash, and then my wife will wake me up and start my whole miserable day.
Oh, boy, you are, really, I'm hoping for your sake your wife's not listening to this hour, believe me.
She does. She's not a fan of mine.
Apparently, I can see why. David is listening on WCCO in Minneapolis. Hi, David.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, brother?
I'm well. I appreciate you asking.
So my brother-in-law Larry was in Vietnam on an aircraft carrier out of Texas. And when he came back, they called him a baby killer and all this stuff. And he goes, all I did was load the bullets and pull the pins,
Well, that would seem to support Fred's thesis.
Yeah, you pull a pin, you load a gun, and then you go have lunch. Yeah. But, an aircraft carrier is different.
He didn't do it by his own family.
An aircraft carrier is different. You have there's the planes going up and down. There's mechanics. I'm talking about your basic battleship. But, thank him for his service. And
yes,
I'm not too sure how many babies you kill on an aircraft carrier.
Right, exactly. I mean, what's a baby doing on an aircraft carrier to begin with?
Right. That's they don't get rest. There's no rest for babies.
He did go offshore.
We won't rest.
He came on shore leave, but he never caught that stuff.
Did he get gonorrhea?
No, he did not on offshore leave, or what do you call that?
All right.
Would land in
well,
that's too bad.
Good touch base on that with you, brother.
Good for him. David, thank you for calling. I appreciate you listening.
Yep. Love you guys in your show. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Give my best to everybody there on WCCO in Minneapolis. This is a great radio station, one of the best around, a real blowtorch in the Midwest. Fred, it is hard for me to believe, but our time together has almost drawn to a close. Before we end, is there anything else that you want to add?
I don't have gonorrhea.
Nice.
And go to fredrubino.com and see me on Facebook also. I have a very lively Facebook page. I just got 1 million views on one of my videos last week, so I'm hoping to expand my reach on social media. And that's about it.
What video was that you got 1 million views?
I did a thing where it was what's going to happen with me and my MAGA friends on Inauguration Day, and I played a video clip of the honeymooners when they're dancing the mambo.
Oh, yes, I did see that, actually. I didn't see it with sound, but I saw that you had the honeymooners in there, which was fun.
It was very good. And I also have on YouTube a video of what to do at a Super Bowl party.
Oh.
So check that out on YouTube.
I will check that out. So you're Fred Rubino on the YouTube, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, we will. You check out Fred Rubino. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitter. Although you don't do much on Twitter.
I don't do much on Twitter because, again, there's people there that not coming out to see me. So
yeah, fair enough. Okay, Facebook it is. If you're a Fred Rubino guy, all right. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you're certainly welcome to do so at Frank Morano. That's Frank Morano. As Fred mentioned, you can find him at fredrubino.com. He is going to be doing the. What is it? The almost newlywed game? What do you call it?
The not that newlywed.
Not that newlywed game.
In Ronkonkoma.
At the America First warehouse. If you're a listener to the show and you hear him on radio, check him out and let Fred know that you're a fan and that's why you're there, because of this show. Certainly Joe from Ronkonkoma. We expect him there. Maybe he can bring his wife. He's been married a long time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. All right, Fred, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in as always. Best of luck.
Thank you. It's always an honor.
My apologies to any naval veterans. Fred Rubino's comments do not reflect the views of the host of this program or anybody that has anything to do with this program at all, except Fred. Keep asking questions.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.